Hello guys, David.Gate2 here, and welcome back for part 5 of the Sleipnir build. This will be the last part. Let's just rehash what went on last time. I went and did some ACB works to make this thing change its altitude every 10 seconds. I did some mimic work to hide some thrusters, did some mimic work to make the engine intakes look a little more fancy. Did painting, pretty much painted the whole thing. Set up the targeting cards. We added more detection equipment. So we added daddy blades for more maneuverability. We hid the wing detection with some mimics. We reshaped the wingtips a bit. Added some more ammo processors. We changed the cockpit up a bit, lowering it some, and changed it to glass. Decorated a little. We decorated the main cannon, the big 500mm on the back. We added a pleat armor for decorations. We added some mimics for the laser cannons on the spin block wings. Did some mimic work and decorating for cleaning up of the hull. We added a thruster to the back. This time, in this video, we are going to do some more mimic work on the cockpit. Actually, a lot of mimic work on the cockpit. I added an HE torpedo launcher to the bottom. Funny thing about From the Depths, there's a lot of stuff in here that'll start sinking before it ever hits 80%. So good idea to pretty much put a torpedo launcher in about everything that's not a tank. We set up local weapon controllers for all the weapons. We changed the matlets on the 100mm APS cannons. Add some more pleat armor for decorative purposes. I tried to use some armor blocks to make it look like this thing had fangs on the front of it, but it just wasn't working out for me, so yeah, just ignore that. Did more mimic work on the hull. I changed the stripe going across the top of the gunship to yellow. I added more ammo processors. Cleaned up how the missile gantries were looking. Try to hide some of that with some mimics, make it look nicer. We added a bunch more storage. I did more hull work. I added some doors on the left and right side of the gunship. Lots more combat testing. And that's when I found out that I had to fix the torpedoes because they kept running into the bottom of the gunship and blowing up. So I had to fix that. I had to remove some of the ammo processors because they kept eating up way too much power, and when the power bottomed out, this thing would just crash in the water. And I was trying to add engines to try to compensate for that a bit. Had to take them back out, and I ended up just expanding the size of the batteries and added RTGs instead because it doesn't have to be consistent power all the time. It just has to be able to supplement it, when there's power dips. Because this thing's constantly moving and the power needs are always changing. I removed some fuel, traded out for RTGs. We added some constraints to the torpedo launcher, tried to keep it from hitting stuff I didn't want it to hit. Did some tuning on the missiles, had some similar issues with those. I added some more ammo storage, just a little bit I think, just like 2 1x2 boxes. And I finished up with the speed test. And now just want to go over some things that happen off camera that I didn't catch up on any of these videos. I changed the matlets on the 100mm APS cannons to give a wider field of fire. I think I also did that with the 500mm on top. Basically just took the 1 meter elevation matlet, turned it on its side so they could turn farther left and right. I added a single destabilizer to each of the lasers that increased the damage from about 4K to about 7,500. Reduced the size of the missiles, tweaked the settings a bit. Wanted to reduce the cost of reloading the missiles and the overall cost of the design, which is why I did that. Did a little bit of AI and ACB tweaking off camera too. Some minor decorative work, added a sonar buoy deployer because, like I said earlier, Things are always going to go into the water that aren't going to be destroyed upon sinking in this version. And I added a few more RTGs to improve the power output. Again, I needed more resilient power, I guess, for lack of a better term, or more just like power that could handle the occasional fluctuation. But yeah, anyway, so here later I'm going to be starting work on the new battlecruiser I mentioned in the last video. Still haven't came up with a name for it yet. I'm sure I will at some point. So I'm going to try to do it in a similar format to what Lathrix has done in the past. I may or may not have experimented with it before, I don't remember. But we'll just try and see what happens. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you for watching this series. And with that said, if you like what you've seen here, please let me know with a like, comment, or even better, subscription. You guys have yourselves a hell of a day, and keep your hammer high. Later.